first thing you have to understand is income. You're living paycheck to paycheck. You need to make more income before you start worried about all these get rich quick schemes. You need to make more money. Moving forward, I don't care what you make at your job. If you don't have a job, shame on you, because you're not even living paycheck to paycheck because you don't even have a paycheck. Whatever you're making at your job, first thing you need to be doing is trying to find more income. So if you can get a higher paying job, whether it's something you don't like to do, it's a job doing something you don't want to do, but it pays more, do that. If you don't have that option, fine. You need to be working a minimum of 60 hours per week, minimum, because you need to be getting paid for 60 hours a week. And we need to stay on this grind for a minimum of 6 months, preferably a year, 2 years. However, I don't want to scare you and burn you out too soon, but at least 6 months. Anybody can do something for a 6 month span, even if it's something they don't want to do and they don't like doing. But for the next minimum of 6 months, you need to be getting paid for 60 hours every week. That's the first thing you're going to need to do. Whether that's getting a second job or working 20 hours over on your current position, your current job. That's actually better than the second job because you probably get paid more because it's time and a half for the 20 hours over. But a lot of people get burnt out, so they think they need to do something else. They can't sit in their same job for that long every week. Understandable, but you need to get a second job then. You understand? I know what you're going to say. But my kids, but more. Here's the thing. You're in a situation where either you're going to paycheck it to paycheck it with your kids as they grow, not really be able to do what they need you to do or do what you want to do with them, or you're going to have to sacrifice some time now with them. And you can still schedule for most of the important birthdays and things like that, but for the next couple of years, you're going to have to be in build mode. All right? Look at it this way. You might have to sacrifice a little bit of time with them for the next 1 to 5 years. But after that, you're going to be able to do what you want with them. Give them more memories, right? If you don't have children, this is what you need to be doing. There's no excuse. I don't care about your girlfriend. I mean, not to say that I don't care about your girlfriend, but my point is, she needs to understand that you're on this mission. 2, you need a game plan. Yes, game plan means budget. I know nobody wants to budget. It's almost like the same as nobody wants to diet. I get it. However, if you want to get in shape, you have to eat differently, correct? You have to do something differently. So if you want your finances to be in order, you also have to do something a little bit differently than you have been doing them. Budget. First thing inside of that, you need to figure out what are your expenses, what can you cut out, what do you have to have, what is needed, and then what are your assets. So how much money you bring in every month versus how much money goes out every month. That's what you need to know. You need that number so that you can stick to that, so that you know consistently how much extra you come up with over here than from over here. Now, this is going to take you, well, it doesn't take that long. Actually, you can go into your credit card statements, you can go into your bank statements and see what comes out throughout the month, tally it up. You'll look at all your bills, tally them up. You have the number, subtract that number from that number. You have the number of available cash that you have at the end of every month to do something with. The number one thing that you got to do right now, especially if it's more than just you, what I mean by that is you have a wife, you have children, somebody else that you are responsible for. Life insurance. You got to go get it. There's a bunch of schools of thoughts. I used to do this. I used to actually sell life insurance. I learned a lot. I was licensed to do so. There's a thing called buy term and invest the difference. And you have whole life. There's a lot of advantages to whole life. There's an advantage to buy term and invest the difference. Whichever way you go is on you, but you do need something to protect your family in case that you're gone. And I want you to look at it in terms of this. If you make $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year and you're the primary breadwinner in your household, they don't need to just pay for the funeral. You want to leave enough for your income missing from that household, because that's what destroys households. So if you don't leave enough for them to do that, to make up for that lost income, yeah, they can bury you, but there's nothing moving forward. Now everybody's life is in shambles. As a man, as a leader of a household, we want to make sure that that's in order first. So go out and get some life insurance and get enough to cover your family for the loss of you in case that happens. Hopefully it doesn't happen. After life insurance, what we start doing is building on that. So we do need some level of investing, which is number 3. As a matter of fact, take my hat off for this one. This is the fun part. There's a bunch of stuff that you can learn about online and all of that. Just keep it a little simple here. You're working your 60 hours. You got your life insurance. Now what we're going to do is start building some type of a portfolio. If you have a 401k at your job, max that out. If they match 3% or 5% or more, you put in 3% to 5%. Whatever what they're going to match, you match that. Why? That is free money. That's 100% gain on your money immediately. Use it. Use that. That's the first thing. Once we got that out the way, others will tell you about Roth IRA or an IRA. I will tell you first, save up at least 3 months worth of that list that you made of your expenses. Save up at least 3 months of that into a high interest savings account. You can do your research. There are high interest savings accounts where you can get 3%, 5%. There's even some places I've seen, for a short time give you about 8%. So look those up. One place, SoFi, online. It's an online banking. SoFi, SoFi. You can go put your money in there. You get, I think at the time of this recording, 5% in your savings account. Have your money, go right into that. Save that up. These 3 months of expenses in that account. After you have done that, get yourself an investment account. I don't care if it's Robinhood, Webull, Fidelity, whatever you want, Tasty Trader, whatever you want. But you get yourself an investing account and you put something away every check into your investment. I'm not going to tell you what to invest in, not here. However, I will tell you this. It's easy to do research. Look at the big companies that you already know. Say, for instance, Apple. That's a big company. If you have an iPhone, you need to own some Apple. If you think Apple's going to go out of business, don't invest in Apple. If you think Apple is going to continue to grow over time, the next 10, 20 years, you can start putting money into an Apple investment. Find a distributor or, for instance, Webull, where you can put fractional shares so you don't have to buy an entire share. So if you only have $35 to put into the market and one share of Apple is $230, you're like, I can't get a share. Well, you get $30 worth of that share. So you don't even have to buy full shares anymore. They make it so easy for us to invest, but most people don't do it, and they don't understand it. And it's very simple. When you're investing, you're putting your money in a place where it can work for you over time. It's very important that you set it and forget it. So set it up on automatic. Because if you have to remember every check to take that money out and do this with it, you're probably going to skip out on something. If you set it up automatically to come out on a certain day, every week or every bi-weekly or even once a month, it'll just happen and you don't have to think about it. That's the key to this type of strategy. That was number 3. Number 4, stop buying liabilities. What is a liability? Anything that depreciates or takes money out of your bank account. If when you buy it and you keep it, the value of it goes down, such as most cars, it's a liability. You're making payments on it, it's a liability. You can't use that as an asset, it's a liability. So that's just an example, but we have so many examples. You buy sneakers, you buy new TVs that you don't need, you buy new bedroom sets that you may not need. We all tend to buy things that we don't need, that are just luxuries. Nothing wrong with having luxuries, but in this phase, when we're trying to build something, we have to kind of tighten our belt. You can't afford to buy things that you don't need, because that money that you took to put that into that could be used for something else of more importance in your life, to your goal that you're trying to have. So instead of buying liabilities, start trying to build a habit of buying assets. What is an asset? It's something that appreciates over time after you purchase it. It's also something that brings money into your life, not takes it out of your life. So we want to build more assets and less liabilities. I'm making this as simple as possible. I'm not trying more assets, things that when you buy it, it's actually worth more over time than it was when you bought it. Think of like a house. A lot of times if you buy a house, 15, 20 years later, that house is worth more than what you paid for it. And then less liabilities, which think of a car. When you buy it and you drive and you put 100,000 miles on it, you can't turn around and go sell that for more than what you bought it for. Most of the time, unless it's an antique or something ludicrous happens over there, right? That's what I'm talking about. So that's what we want to do. Those are the 4 things that we need to focus on today. Start implementing today. Start with number 1. Start with number 1. And simultaneously, as you're doing number 1, move into 2, 3, 4. Because you need the budget from 2 to see what you need to be, what you're going to be making versus what you're spending, what you need to spend. So you need that. But with number 1, that is going to tell you how much you actually are making. So you need to start there. Because once you get into that 60 hours, now how much are you making? That's the number you need to use. I hope that I put a little bit of perspective on this for you, made it as easy as possible for you, because the goal over here is to take you from where you're at, current state, to desired state. So your current state is broke, struggling financially, which can spill over to other things in your life. Your desired state is financial freedom. These 4 steps will be the start. Start doing those today. Make videos like this every week. Like, subscribe, comment. Tell me what you need to hear, what you like to learn, what you want to know. Salute.
Yeah, that's my favorite saying. That's my favorite saying.